Yeah, I'm thrilled to be here. You know, Cardiff is a fantastic city. It's an amazing theatre. I've never been to this theatre before, so it's a real joy. When I first arrived here, I was actually trying to find the stage door, and I was walking around the whole building, and I was like, oh my, it's never ending, you know? But it is massive, but it's stunning, and the auditorium is gorgeous, and there's so much space. The stage is huge. It's great. I think this is probably one of my favourites so far of this tour. The sound bounces back in such a nice way. And you can also kind of, because the audience they're quite far away with the orchestra pit, but somehow I think maybe because of the shape of it, they feel quite close. So it actually feels like such a interactive experience almost when you're on stage. It's different. I think it's a very different era of storytelling, and I think it's really of its own world. And you know, these are the musicals I grew up watching. I loved all the MGM Golden Age Hollywood movie musicals. You know, Judy Garland, Eleanor Powell, Vera Ellen, obviously Fred and Ginger. Like, these were artists that I adored all my life, and you know, they were triple threats all the way through. They sang, they danced, they acted, they were convincing emotionally, they had these beautiful connections, but they also were full-on professional dancers and had these amazing voices. And I just think to honor those artists and that work is such a blessing, and I'm so glad that so many years on we're still celebrating that era of musical theatre. It's really is a show for everyone. Like, there is something for everyone to get their teeth into, and like, you know, the music of Irving Berlin is timeless. It is the great American songbook. His music is, everybody can at least recognize at least one tune from the show that they've heard before. That's what's so brilliant about the music is there's a familiarity there, and something for everyone to enjoy. So yeah, definitely a show to bring your whole family to. It's such a beautiful ode to the original movie. You know, a lot of the designs of my dresses, particularly Dale's dresses, are very inspired by what Ginger Rogers wore in the film. And but there's also, you know, a real sense of independent identity to the set design and the costume design. It's fantastic, and it's, you know, it doesn't feel it feels like it comes from the era of black and white movies, but it doesn't. It's still so colourful and effervescent and bright, and they've just got that balance perfectly, I think. I mean, it's the magic of theatre. That's the beauty of live theatre, is that anything can happen. And we had a bit of a wardrobe malfunction going on off stage. So I sort of was on stage waiting for the other actor, Phillip, to come back on stage to do our scene. And he was having a wardrobe malfunction, so they had to fix that. So they had to pause the show in order to sort that out. And then we went back and did the scene again. But, you know, this happens a lot. You know, not everything's going to run smoothly all the way through a show every single time. So you kind of prepare yourself for it, and you just sort of have to laugh and then get back into it. I always find when I'm in the audience and something happens like that, there's a showstop on stage, you feel the buzz of the excitement as well, and of like, oh, you suddenly reminded that this is live and happening in real time, and you know what's going to happen next. So it is always a little bit exciting when there's a bit of a showstop, as long as it's nothing like really, really bad and nobody's injured or anything like that. But it is there is quite a buzz in the room. This is a collection of some of the best performers I think the country has to offer. We have an exceptional ensemble of singers and dancers and actors who just really know how to create the world that we're in and sort of build the set with themselves. And and it's extraordinary. And then we've got, of course, Phillip Attmore, who's playing our Jerry, and he is exceptional. You know, you don't get dancers like that very often, and the things he can do is I think is very, very rare and a joy to watch. Of course, we've got, you know, Sally and James, who played Horace and Madge, and again, Sally Ann Triplett, an absolute icon, you know, legend in the musical theatre space, and hilarious on stage. You know, you feel the audience immediately get on side when she comes on in the second act. And again, with James, a phenomenal actor, great singer, amazing presence, super funny. You know, you could not ask for better people to work with, and especially on a project like this. It's silly, and it's you know, even though the stakes might be high for the characters, the audience can just sit back and laugh at the absolute farce and ridiculousness of the situation, and still empathize with the characters in their own personal situation. So it's got that perfect balance. It is such a shared experience of just pure joy, particularly in those bows, because you can see in the audience as well people dancing along with you, and it's yeah, there's no words for it.